Clarkson football ended in the early 1950s, and we hadn't fielded a team again until fall of 2010. When I was a freshman here, I was playing intramurals, and that's where I met a majority of the guys that are in my senior class. When I first started talking to Muhammad Chirwali, he said, you know, it'd be really sick if we had a team here. Another student, Andrew Dorr, basically football was his major thing in high school. And I was talking to him about it one day. I was like, you know, there's guys that really think it'd be a good idea if there was a team here. There's a lot of opposition to it because starting up a football program is not something that's easily done. I remember when we held our first interest meeting, Andrew and I were pretty much running the meeting. We had seen like 10 or 12 guys stroll in, and we were like, well, there's probably about 5 more minutes until we're supposed to start the meeting. So, you know, we're kind of nervous, thinking like, well, this doesn't really look like we're gonna get as many guys as we had hoped. Come to find out, there was a lot of people waiting down in the lobby, and then probably about 30 or 40 more guys strolled through, and then I remember Andrew looking at me and was just like, kind of had this smile on his face, and it was like, yeah, this is definitely possible. The biggest doubt was, first off, the fact that this is a hockey school, and that they didn't think there'd be enough support for football. And right up there with that was the doubts of finances being there. It's way too expensive. People saying, oh, well, there's even liability issue for you guys getting together and becoming club or team on campus. There's kind of this uncertainty about who was really going to commit to it and who was not. We went through the whole process of first becoming recognized and them saying, yes, there actually is a Clarkson football team now. The way we made up differences for expenses was actually players personally buying their own equipment for the first season. We had no funding for buying equipment, and we had to have guys fundraise over the summer, and through that we had enough money to get us partially through the season as far as traveling expenses, paying our league dues, paying for our liability insurance, paying for home field, paying for referees. And when we had overspent our CUSA budget, which you're allowed to do, we were told we were going to have to repay the debt. So we said, well, we really need to focus on fundraising to pay off our debt from this past season. We first met with our head coach, Mike Britton, and one of his good friends who had been on his coaching staff for several years, our assistant head coach and offensive line coach, Ray Holtz. We met with Coach Britton and Coach Holtz and presented them with our idea, and they said, well, what exactly are you going to want from us? And we said, well, we just want a coaching staff, and we explained that we wouldn't have the ability to pay them, and they decided they would come on as volunteers, and they would find other guys to be on the coaching staff with them. We had a full-on coaching staff by the first season, which was definitely a plus because football's not a sport that you can't have coaches in. Here in our third season, we were able to come in a week early onto campus and have a training camp, 2-a-day sessions plus lifting and team meals all together, which did bring us together more as a team earlier on in the season than we've been used to, which is definitely a good thing. Well, I've handed the presidency down to Luke Porter. He's a sophomore safety here. He, as a freshman last year, showed a lot of heart, a lot of dedication, a lot of drive to making this team better. And if there's someone that's going to take over, I would want it to be Luke.
Kind of shocked as a freshman getting that kind of honor, so it was definitely a surprise. Next year, and looking forward to grow the program, just really recruiting is a big thing. We're losing a lot of kids this year. About half of our kids are seniors, so in school it's just spreading the word, talking to people, just saying, come out to the practices, give it a try. We got to start winning. We've had a couple rough seasons, but I think next season we're going to be successful, and that's definitely going to put our name on the map.
We do our breast cancer awareness game. Our team personally has family members affected by breast cancer. Actually, this past week, we played Eastern Connecticut State. Several players were decked out in pink, and it sent a really, really good message. I have my last game coming up against Boston Terriers, and the way I see that going is I don't care what their ranking is. I see them going down because I just don't see us losing in front of our Parents Weekend crowd. We're definitely going to end the season with a win. And as far as the future of the team goes, I'd love to see a field on campus, and I'd love to see the team have its own facility, which looks like a very strong possibility. What I get from a lot of my teammates here is the vibe that, we weren't supposed to be able to ever play this game again, and here we are. Some of us have been here for the past 3 years. Some guys are just getting into it, and some guys have already experienced it and have been gone. Clarkson football has created an opportunity for all of us that we wouldn't have had.